Get a load of this person. They can't do damage. Look, I've been in your same shoes too. I haven't done big damage before and I've sucked a lot. Yeah, it's okay. Whether you're a new person clicking on this video to find out how to do more damage, or you're just bad at the game, it does not matter because your boy is here to tell you how to do more damage. So let's get into it. Firstly, leveling up your character is a no-brainer. Getting them as high as they can be will grant them bonuses to their stats, and that's already guaranteed damage. For example, Ayato here, ascending him upgrades his crit damage. We have about 179 crit damage here, and that's juicy. So yeah, the first step is to level up your character. The second step would be to level up your talents, because the lower your character's level is, the lower these talents are. And because of those low talents, these skills and bursts won't do as much damage. Ayato's skill ability here is his main DPS. So getting this as high as possible is the best possible way for damage. The third thing you want to do, of course, is their weapon to make sure it's leveled up as high as possible. And the second thing you want to know about weapons is having the right weapon for your character. One of the main parts of character building is their artifacts. Sorry, artifacts scare me. One of the main thing about artifacts is the set bonuses. Ayato's main thing is doing normal attack damage with his elemental skill. So artifacts like Heart of Death is really good. You want to know what exactly your character does the best, and you want to get artifacts for that. Another example is Cloud Retainer. I made a DPS version of her, and a lot of her kit is doing plunge attacks. Desert Pavilion Chronicle increases plunge attack damage. So things like that, you really want to make sure you grind out the right artifacts. And in hindsight, at the end of the day, you got to get lucky with artifacts. That being said, if you can't get lucky at all, one thing is important. Prioritize stats over sets. Alright, so without changing the artifact set that we have right now, we're going to do a little bit of damage testing. We did 5.6k there. Now, if we can not be aggroed, there we go. Now let's go ahead and change up our artifacts and just get as much crit as humanly possible. Alright, so here is our new Ayato. We got 2000 attack, 60 crit rate, and 211 crit damage. I do want to say one thing first. Crit rate is more important than crit damage because if your crit rate is too low, you're not going to be hitting that crit damage very often. And guess what that means? No damage! Small PP numbers. So getting around 60 to like 70 crit rate is more ideal. Let's take a look at our artifacts. As you see here, we have no bonuses at all. We have our flower here giving us a shit ton of crit damage. Our feather here gives us also a shit ton of crit damage and a good amount of crit rate. Our sands here gives attack because attack is nice. And then we also got a bit of good crit in there as well. And our cup is hydro damage bonus because hydro damage is very important for a hydro DPS. Then we got a crit rate circlet with some crit damage in it. You remember last time, our damage was 5.6. Let's see what ours is now. My guess it's probably going to be lower, but just by a little bit. 4.8. That is only like not even 1,000 difference. So yeah, in hindsight, if you have shitty artifacts, prioritize stats over sets. Okay? And just doing that will give you good enough damage. Another thing to know is elemental reactions. Genshin's whole thing is elemental reactions. And if you're not doing those, you're gonna lack damage. A really good reaction to do with a hydro character like Ayato is vaporize. Now, how we do this is by putting a pyro character with our hydro unit. With no reaction, we do 5.6 damage. Now we can switch to a pyro character like Bennett to apply pyro to the Ruin Guard. Then we use Ayato. I didn't even get to attack there, but yeah. You saw there, that was vaporized. Now, it didn't do the most damage, but let's try it again. Now, if we can actually hit crit game, that'd be very nice. See, we did a 12k! That is more than double the damage we were just doing. Okay? Elemental reactions are huge. And in fact, one of the best elemental reactions in the game is Hyper Bloom. That just does so much insane damage that you can't even see what's happening on your screen anymore. Another thing to know is Elemental Mastery does help elemental reactions do more damage. See, I only have 58 on here. I'm doing 11.1% more damage from Vaporize. And obviously, the higher this number is, the more damage you get from this. EM is really, really damn good. And you can do some good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Another really important way to do damage is support characters. You've already seen him already, but Bennett is the best support character in the game because he can heal you. And he can also boost your damage insanely. And honestly, most of the time, you want to focus on building your support character the best they can be before your DPS so that their damage increase is as high as possible. And there are plenty of support characters out there. Mona, she can damage increase like crazy. Characters like Kazuha or Sucrose can actually increase elemental mastery, which, guess what? Increases elemental reaction damage. Very insane. Yunjin, her whole gimmick is to increase normal attack damage, so very perfect for Wanderer or Ayato. Shenhe, good support for cryo characters, boosts their damage. It's very insane. Faruzan increases animo damage. See, if you don't have these characters built, you're already losing out on some possible damage that you could have. Supports are very important. And since we're talking about supports, let's talk about other little ways to get more damage. And that is characters that can shred resistances. For example, Zhongli here, his skill here can actually decrease elemental resistance and physical resistance of enemies by 20%. And for Animo characters, using this artifact set here decreases elemental resistance to whatever element is infused by their Animo by a whole 40%. And that is insane. Putting that on top of all the elemental mastery bonuses and damage bonuses from other characters, things like this can be insane. Now, another thing to keep in mind, which you probably don't really know about, is elemental resonance. And depending on what two elements are on your team, you can get a damage bonus. Double Pyro characters increases our attack by 25%. Double Dendro characters increase elemental mastery by 50. And by triggering Burn or Quicken or Bloom reactions, you get 30 more elemental mastery. Or if you do Aggravate, Spread, Hyper Bloom, or Burgeon, you get 20 elemental mastery. So more of that is insane. Double Cryo increases your crit rate. Double Geo will decrease enemies' Geo resistance by a whole 20%. So overall, you want to keep this in mind when you're making your teams. Another important thing of Genshin is team synergy. And if your team doesn't synergize well, you're probably not going to be doing a lot of that damage. Now, with everything put together, this is our team. We are going to be doing a Cryo DPS Eula with melt reactions. So let's take a gander of what exactly is going on here. Let's look at Eula's build. She of course has 1700 attack, which is pretty decent. 47 elemental mastery, which honestly could be better, but we have 9% more melt damage, which is okay. We have 54 crit rate and 221 crit damage. Now the crit rate could be better, but it's okay. We are getting 15% more from the elemental resonance bonus. For the weapon, we have a crit damage claymore. We're missing out on damage already because it's locked at level 80. It could be level 90 for more damage. For artifacts, we are using a cryo set, which will also increase our crit rate and obviously more cryo damage. If you want to take a look here, this piece is level 16, which gives me a perfect reminder. You should probably level up your artifacts as max as possible, because you're missing out on some damage there too. We have good set going on here. I think it's pretty decent. And of course, our talents are pretty high as well, which is really good. For the support character, we got Shenhe. Obviously, she's level 80, so again, we're missing out on some damage. Her weapon's level 80. We're missing out on some damage because we could be getting more attack, which equates to more damage bonus from Shenhe's support supportness. Our artifacts are giving us as much attack as possible because she scales off of attack, and our talents as high as possible, but they could be higher because she's level 80. And of course we got Bennett to increase our DPS and help apply pyro, and then we got Xiangling for the extra pyro character, and she's really good at applying pyro to enemies. And once again, because we're using double pyro, we get 25% more attack, and because we're using double cryo, we get more crit rate. Let's try and put everything together. Alright, let's fight our boy Masanori here. He's a bit more tanky. Let's go ahead and get this damage going. Boom, 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 and then wha-bomb! 66k. 44k. Now, we didn't even really do elemental reactions, which we should probably do, huh? I didn't use Xiangling at all. Alright, we have all our bursts, so let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, one big ult. We missed, but that's okay. We did 74k. We were already doing more damage because we were applying pyro and stuff. I didn't get to see the ult, unfortunately, but regardless of that, putting everything together that I said in the video will result into more damage. TLDR, get lucky with artifacts. Yeah, artifacts are a lot of the damage, but you still do want to make sure your characters are leveled up. You want their weapons leveled up. You want their talents leveled up. And be sure to use a good team, because if you're not, no damage. No damage for you. So anyway, I hope this video has helped, and hopefully you can now do bigger PP damage. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was useful. If there are any extra ways to do damage that you know of, please comment them down below. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Goodbye.
Yeah? Oh.